Yeah, there the calendar is.
I read.
Hi, Red. I'm Dad.
Yeah, the calendar stops at Gnome asking to speak to the twin leopards.
It shouldn't.
That's where it ends for me. On the 27th of Erodus.
That's where it ended for me.
Oh, well, fuck me. I wrote it and never put it in. I've been using it like,
That's so
I
cool.
wrote it.
There's a calendar.
We did have a bunch of beers and watch cartoons, I think. After that.
Oh, that's right. I was mildly drinking. Alright. There we go. The calendar should now...
It's a good beer.
Yeah, it is. And yes, it has been updated, James.
There. Boom. I actually put, well, double the last one in there, but there's the catch-up. That's right, because you guys got all that fucking shit on a weapon that you were going to put on someone else's weapon.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I think we got all this stuff to turn Ike's
Oh
hammer.
yeah, we were gonna make it returning and striking and some other shit.
Yeah.
You were going to take the extra one and put it on your glove. Your Fist of the South Star.
Yeah, the striking was going to go
No,
on
the
the
fist
glove.
of the South Star's my cock. The fist of the North Star's still my hand.
Okay.
Even if it's in a glove.
I think it's a gauntlet, but...
Do the hustle.
Just hustling. Just doing the hustle. I'm trying to put it right in my fucking music sound set. Hey, here we go.
Jim, when you first put this map out, I was like, is this the combo map? This is going to be the greatest session ever. Everyone was creating a different way, but it wasn't like 50 by 50 square combat map in the city, which I was like, oh my god, I got on it. Like,
Let me just say
Jim, what are you thinking about?
how excited I am for tonight's RP and the fact that Isaac will hopefully have full use of his microphone for it.
Yes.
Alright, so I did want to take a second to revisit something, because I wanted to paint a little bit of a picture where all of you are now. So walking out of the Twin Leopards, like, sort of hall, it's worth kind of looking back that most of this group started off the adventure one Friday, almost a month ago, at a call to heroes. And within
I know
literally...
your memory isn't good, but it was a Wednesday, my dude.
And in 7 game days, from that fire day all the way through the following oath day, you cleared out an entire you cleared out an ancient citadel, took down a hostage situation, investigated a case, and the Natmans are there to these old caves from a past and long gone war that reconnected to the bottom of this keep and these circle of elf gates. That took a week. After you found the elf gates, then it took you 2.5 weeks of work. You spent 2 whole weeks of work, time between that, researching the gate, working to repair it, making money and improving the things around you before you finally, a month after you began, almost 3 weeks after you sort of finally reclaimed the Citadel, a month later, a couple paychecks later, that's when you stepped out here. You spent whole weeks trying to figure out how to get back home in the case of Tope, or to see where this threat to your sort of new current home is coming from. And upon finally reaching it, you find yourself embroiled in something that's clearly an ongoing issue. You find a whole troop of warriors positioned outside of this area, having recently survived some sort of battle with the same organization, same cult, the same worshippers that you interacted with, the same ones that came and invaded your citadel, what is now your citadel. These warriors, seeing you as interlopers or potential allies, perhaps, bring you back to the city of Akravel, which you're met somewhat warmly by the warrior you interacted with's daughter, a half-elf translator and lore keeper of the culture, but with a bit of curt hesitation and distance from many of the other elves who are hesitant of travelers, especially ones who arrived coming out of a portal that they have a lot of deep-standing history trying to keep closed. Since then, you've done your best to ingratiate yourself to the culture here, interacting with the children and the adults and the leaders. You made quite a bit of headway with the leaders. As a matter of fact, yeah. Quite a bit of headway with the leaders. To the point at which they instruct you to please, if you would like to, and if you could use some of the same skills you showed off with them, perhaps join in the hunt for the feast tonight. And so it's with that instruction that we rejoin our group a month after the adventure started, and several weeks since the last of you have seen any sort of combat action, any sort of life or death risk. So walking on these swaying, hundreds of feet above the ground walkways, we now rejoin you and your sort of cultural guide today of the person whose name I want to have here, but I'm struggling to find now because I know it's weird, and now I can't find everything. Nictaya. So, all of you come out with the instruction from the from the twin leopards of the clan, of course, to join the hunt if you would be willing to show off more of your skills and to help. So you come out, Nictaya's there, sort of looks up. How'd it go?
Well, it seemed pretty good to us. I think they liked us. They even asked us to join the hunt.
That's good. Well, anything else you need?
I think I'm good. How about all you?
Are we like going on the hunt right now? Is the hunt? There's not going to be any help. I feel like. Is there like, can I like stay and like talk to the girl with the wooden arm?
Sure, that's Nictaya. Additionally, I think you were going to work on starting to move some of the runes around off of that weapon, potentially.
That's true.
Because you have a lot of the necessary skills to do that. You have to have some crafting and arcana, and you've got crafting, right?
I'm trained in crafting.
So you could start the process. Someone else would have to help you finish it. But if you wanted to stay behind and work on doing that, you certainly could.
If I get the sense that they're telling us all to go hunt, like, no, to do that, but if it's like, hey, if you like hunting, like, no, there's no shit about hunting.
It's entirely up to you. You don't have any sense either way beyond what they've told you and what I just shared.
To point out, if you need a buddy, Felix is also trained in crafting.
If someone needs to stay behind to do the thing, I can, but if we have time to do it, I'll go hunting.
Alright, so
Yeah,
if you two are
It would actually
talking
be more
crafting,
temporally
then
efficient for you to. It would actually be more temporally efficient for you guys to pay someone in town to do it. Because otherwise, it takes a day or two to move. It could take a day to move a rune over, but a shop here could have several artisans all working simultaneously to move and redistribute the runes.
Let's do that.
cool. Okay, so Karen will look at Tope and say, I'm quite interested in the hunting techniques of your people. Show me what you know.
I would be happy to.
And then I'm not sure where we go for the hunt, but Karen will start trying to figure out where she needs to go, who she needs to meet with.
So that's you could try to ask around, but You're still gonna have some language barriers. You could probably ask Nataya if you wanted to.
Okay. Yeah. Nick Toya, I'm supposed to be joining in on the hunt for the feast this evening. Where would Tope and I head?
She sort of cracks a smile. Ah. Excellent. No. Perfect. This will work well. Let me show you who will be leading tonight's hunt. And she sort of has an odd, contented smile to her about it. And
Nope.
she starts heading off for anyone who chooses to follow her.
Gnome and Felix, you game? Are you staying here to watch?
Chirp, chirp.
Looks like it's just you and me then, Tope.
Always fun with me.
Alright, so Tope and Karen
You
will...
look the better.
Yeah. So we'll head on.
Ike, are you not going to go on the hunt then?
Is Ike there? I heard like a noise and it
Okay,
popped
I
up.
heard my name
There
as
you
I
are.
was standing up.
There you are.
Sorry, my sister had a kitten a few days ago, and he's still petting him.
Oh jeez.
Oh, he's very cute. There's nothing to be, nothing to regret. Anyway, I heard my name.
Yes.
Yeah, Karen asked Gnome and Felix if they were going to join in the hunt for the feast.
Or if
Oh,
you were.
absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, Gnome, are you going to stay behind or are you going to go?
I mean, if there's something useful you're gonna be doing, stand behind. They'll do that, but otherwise he's not gonna go on.
You know what information has been presented.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
I think for the sake of simplicity, Tam will stay behind
Sure.
and work on sort of focusing and just like being Tam about shit. He's going to continue his quest for a graveyard.
He's kind of an introvert, you know. So he's done a lot of extroverted stuff the last couple of days. He kind of needs to recharge his battery.
Poor Tam. Hate to
So-
see it.
What are you all doing? Anything particular any of you want to do while Nataya leads you to who she says will be your contact for the hunt?
I have a healing potion. You know.
Not particularly small talk.
Okay. So yeah, so do me then while you're small talking and
How's the lobby?
well, so okay, are you small talking with your party or with Nataya?
With Nickdale, with all, you know, our new home.
So go ahead and drop a perception check in the dice tower for me, please.
I already
Perception.
know what these guys think about shit.
So as you're kind of walking and talking with her, she's bantering back a little bit. She's making polite conversation to a point, but you start to pick up that now that you spent like the better part of a day with her, you're starting to kind of pick up in terms of like what she likes, like what her points of connection are, and you notice that she's reacting particularly positively towards play. And I think the really one that Felix, my guess is that Felix will really pick up on is she seems to have a real taste for both pranks and Emmy and all gossip about her other party members. She's all about fucking E. You also kind of gather, and so this is, I'll say that mechanically there's a lot of diplomacy stuff going on. Yeah, and so through perception and diplomacy, you can learn the likes and dislikes of characters and of these NPCs that will help you sort of win them over to your side or not. And so with that check, that's enough for you to learn that she's kind of very much into, you know, finding or sharing new gossip about your sort of other PCs, and perhaps kind of a little bit into harm pranks.
Alright, she's Ashton Kutcher, I'm with you.
So you kind of pick up on that with her a little bit.
Cool, good to know.
So if you want to take any actions regarding that or in response to that, you don't make sure to note that down. through other checks, as you make other checks the way you behave, because it'll affect her sort of opinion and reaction to you.
Cool.
So it doesn't take her long to lead you. It doesn't take her long to lead you to a small area where you can see a hunting party getting ready. And standing at the edge of this party, many of you recognize this male elf, Akosa, the one who kind of greeted many of you with a little bit of a stony reception that a couple of you managed to crack just a little bit during your arrival and your displays of physical power.
Karen will attempt to greet him in Mwangi. You want me to do a society check?
Yes.
Dice Tower?
Yes, please.
There you go.
It goes off well enough where you see he kind of looks up, and when he first sees all of you approaching, as despite the sort of you managing to get a smile out of before, and sort of stony face sees you, and then what do you try to say?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to... Okay, since I don't really know the language that well, I'm just going to try and say, like, good day for hunting. Something very basic. Good day, hunt.
He kind of smiles a little, and you see him, like, hesitate, and then sort of almost kind of give in and say in common, yes, it is.
Then, yeah. And then Karen will
It
go
would be
like...
better said if he sort of explains, like, the way to say it slightly better.
And Karen listens very intently and tries to process all of it. Figuring out the grammar and the vocabulary, the pronunciation, whether it's a tonal language, that kind of stuff. She's really listening.
So, he doesn't explain much. He just, like, a quick note and then moves on. And so Rory, I'm getting a little bit of feedback on your mic occasionally. I'm not sure why. He quickly moves on and then introduces himself to the group again as a whole one. In common, I am Akosa of the Hawk clan. My mother is of the River clan. Sort of looks at all of you.
I'm Karen of the Obari. And she puts her fist on her shoulder and kind of gives a short little bow.
Felix Sidonius, hi.
Nods.
I am Tope of the Hunting Birds clan.
Hunting
He
birds.
sort of looks to know.
I'm no. And this is Michelle, who would introduce as a cat.
I just always think of Dodgeball.
Yeah,
My business
Michelle.
consigliere. Michelle.
The huge black guy? Yes. Michel.
Yeah. Akosa looks back to you, Tope. Another outsider then.
Of sorts.
Says, I have been a guest of the Leopard Clan's hospitality. I have been staying here with Jassi while I sort some things out. And Jassi was the warrior with the golden jewelry that you met at the Citadel. Says, I'm getting ready for the hunt tonight. If you'd like any say in what you eat, you're welcome to come along and help make those choices.
I would be
Oh,
honored
we would
to
be happy
participate
to.
in your hunt.
Excellent.
In my tribe, where we come from, we're mainly fishers. We take our harpoons, go out on the water. We bring our hunt back with us. It's a rare treat for someone like for where I'm from to hunt in a forest as luscious as this. I'm going to relish every second.
And so as he interacts with you, all of you notice that, like, he kind of stares at you. Like, even as he's getting ready, he's always sort of eyeing you all up and down. he smiles at that. Normally, we of Kosa eat primarily fish. It's not seen as it's not seen as proper for guests, though. So tonight we ask for the bounty of the jungle and of those that live there, that we might eat of their flesh should we beat them in a hunt. Any idea what you would like us to hunt for?
Oh my.
Monkey sound delicious.
So I think you would know, Trent, that in particular, that is a creature that's a little, like, just human enough that they rarely ever eat or hunt.
Karen will say, do you have those big boars here?
He sort of smiles. Red river hogs. Oh yeah. All along them. Water bucks as well. But those are that's only for those who are, I think your word is courageous. Otherwise, there's turtles or bats. Or if you don't like to work, we can,
Karen steps
always
forward
fun.
before he finishes speaking and says, the Red River Hogs will be fantastic. Thank you.
It will be us versus the crocodiles to see who can catch them first.
Then we'll feast on boar and crocodile.
Can I do like a survival check to know what would be like the most badass thing we could go out and hunt?
Oh, heck yeah. I'd allow you society, nature, or survival here.
I'll throw one of those out there too if you allow me to assist him. I've got all three of them.
Trust me, that'll stand.
Fair.
So, Trent, in terms of culturally and naturally, the biggest prey you could take down here would be a crocodile.
Yeah.
Because they're also seen as predators, and so it's not just hunting a prey
Yeah.
that will try to survive, it is hunting a prey that will actively fight back.
Then then Karen says exactly what I just said. I said then tonight we'll dine on boar and crocodile. Trent, take it.
Yeah, so Tobey will kind of like, he'll like look over at her and be like, oh shit, she's serious. And so he'll look back over to Kosa and be like, crocodile it is.
So, Trent, this wouldn't principally stand out to you, but Felix and Gnome, each of you have been kind of keeping this a sight out to this sort of style. And so I'll say Gnome and Felix, both of you pick up on that, like, this elf's common is pretty good. And he's speaking better common than Johnny was, for sure. But so far, his common has really only been rivaled by Nyctias. And the majority of the elves you've interacted with, like, it's been the leaders of the clan. It's been the leaders of this entire clan, and the translator who really spoke common. It's definitely he's standing out for speaking common.
I think I would. Could I ask them?
Sure, I'm gonna say the mechanic. By the time that kind of really you kind of pick this up by the time that this sort of conversation's a little bit over, perhaps. Everyone's sort of gearing up, and so you see Akosa getting a bow ready and checking all the arrows, and all of you. He kind of tells you quickly, "Get your gear ready. This is not a time for play." And it seems like, while you might make the occasional inroad with him, he sort of quickly becomes cold again, and it's sort of once again just like weirdly staring you down as he's getting all of his stuff ready again. So no, that's when you've kind of caught up. But yeah, no one else in the party's coming forward or speaking common. You're not hearing it anywhere else.
That's right. So again, he doesn't want to talk right now?
No, it's not that. He finished the conversation and he's getting ready. He's just
okay, I think no one would be curious, because it's not the language person would be good at common. I think he'd walk up and ask him, you've had practice in common.
And once you get close, he stops looking at you as much, and he barely breaks pace of checking each arrow he's putting into his quiver. as you kind of catch a little bit of lip come up over the edge of his teeth, and it's not like a sneer, it's almost like a low, like a visual snarl.
Like a Michael B. Jordan smile.
No, it's more like this one up, like, fuck you sort of smile. And it's, you hear him just kind of mutter out. You learn a language fast when jailers keep screaming orders at you in it.
Fuck.
Damn. That's rough, buddy.
Snap.
And he just kind of shoots daggers at Felix when he does that. Visual daggers. He doesn't actually throw daggers at Felix.
Felix dodges the daggers.
Jeez! Yeah, he does. What a waste of a nat 20.
Well,
So Tope will kind of say, like, I speak for this work.
Oh,
fine. Well, if you're all done getting to know each other, are we ready to head out?
Where's the closest
Please
river?
guide our bows.
Let's head out.
Hello. And so, you all head out for the hunt. So now this is where I continue to really like the way this book, I'll say, approaches this whole first, because it's all about sort of coming and learning about a new place. Even this, although we are once again going to make heavy use of skill checks and rolls, will all take place in exploration mode.
Okay.
I love exploring.
Keep reading, you have a real headset now, so I gotta turn your volume back down.
I also said that particularly forcefully.
Oh, that makes
So as
sense.
you're all heading out into this, here's the deal. All of you are now going to collectively work on the exploration mode, Seek the Animals. So in addition to the group of about 5 other hunters, you're going to spend an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, looking to find prey. So anyone who would like to be a part of this may, and this is an open check,
Yeah.
make perception checks to try to find tracks or signs of whatever kind of prey you're looking for.
Absolutely.
Is this like a track or like a forage? Or is this just straight up like, written in the book this way?
It's written in the book this way. What I will say is, once you find signs of an animal, Trent, I will allow you to hunt prey it.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
I'm
So
mostly asking for I want to use my tracker's goggles to get to +1.
That would completely and totally apply.
Okay.
Alright.
Is this a thing we would be assisting for, or we would all be rolling individuals?
Hypothetically, someone could assist, but as you know, like the assist DC is often higher than the actual things DC.
yeah.
So it's up to you if some of you want to assist each other versus all try. If narratively, if one of you is helping another one, do that. Otherwise, if you're all searching for signs of animals.
I think Karen would actually be following along with Tope to try and watch his hunting style, because it's hunting in the jungle is wildly different from spearfishing. So
Karen, if you want to roll an assist then. So what I'll say is you all gather your up. You and about 5 of these other Akuje elves climb down the trees. It takes a little bit. There's a series of ropes, though, to help this time. So you'll work your way down about 100, 200 feet. Yourself, you realize that you've walked so far in the treetops that even though you're back on the ground, you are nowhere near where you went up the other one and didn't recognize this part of the jungle. Hearing the sounds of wildlife around you. So, Karen, go ahead and roll your
all right.
assist. The
Use
assist.
public assist, hopefully. Off to a bad start.
Nope. All right. So everyone else who wants to go ahead and make perception checks to try to find prey.
At least I didn't crit fail.
I rolled a 2.
Hey.
I got a 26.
Damn. So that actually would be a critical success. So gnome, you find several different things, but you are going to find signs of.
Alligators.
Well, you will find signs of a particularly healthy-looking group of red river boars. So you see some rustling down the way. Your sharp eyes catch what might be a water buck. But also, as you get into this water, you pick out what look like logs with the occasional blinking eyes slowly moving at the surface of the water.
Okay, I would point that out to a code.
Echoes. Tell me how you do that. Talk to me a little bit about what you'd say or how no one would do that.
I'd walk over to a Kosa, like real mean and like orcally, and I think the whole time he has his demon mask on, which is just what he wears like when he's not around people, like socially. And he'd walk over and he'd like point over there. I don't think he wouldn't think he'd need to like name the things. He'd just point at the 3 signs. Like he pointed the evidence of each thing like one after another.
And Akosa sort of takes it in, and when he sees the crocodile, he first looks over at Karen, making sure that Tope sees him doing that, and then looks at Tope and kind of raises an eyebrow as a little bit of a, "You really in for this?"
Yes, so Tope will just draw an arrow. And he'll kind of like gesture like on your signal.
Okay.
And this,
so wait.
Akosa sort of gives, it's not a smile, but that's sort of like, nod.
Karen's gonna lean over to Tope and say, "If you and Akosa can send it towards me, or perhaps send an arrow over to the bulls, make them run, bring that crook up to the side of the riverbank here, I'll jump out of the forest and smash it. But we need to get it out of the water. If it's in the water, it'll kill me."
If can we all go after different things? So it's like, can I go after like one of the, like the stag, like the buck, the water buck? What is a water buck? Is that a deer?
A water buck would be like a water buffalo with razor sharp horns.
Oh.
Could I go after that while they're doing that?
You could.
Yeah.
What I'll say is you're splitting up, so you're each only going to get 1 check once it comes time to hunt. So there's 2 more phases to the hunt. And the next phase is positioning hunters, which it sounds like you're already talking about how you want to do it.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Actually hunting the animals. So what I'll say is you can totally try to hunt multiple animals. It just means you'll have fewer chances at success against a specific one. So it's up to you how you as a group want to do it.
Well, I'm open to other suggestions, but my suggestion is someone like either firing an arrow or like a cantrip spell or something to spook some of the other animals and get the crocodile up onto the shore. Because if Karen goes after that thing in the water, she's dead.
So it sounds like Karen wants to go after the crocodile. How's the rest of the group feeling?
Felix always wants to follow up on Karen's lead.
Okay.
And notably, he does have, and we'll point out that he has good aim and a sling, and they're in a jungle.
True.
So they don't even need arrows. He could just launch rocks at things.
True.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
And then Tope, what you think?
Alright, so... Yeah.
You're the hunter, Tope. Does that idea sound okay to you, or you got a better one?
We'll do things your way. You are the guest here. I guess I have to.
Well, I appreciate the hospitality of elves. I always liked you people, but you've really been proving yourselves, proving the legion's right. And Karen's gonna start.
Acosta looks up at you and just says, "You people."
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
So.
No, Acosta actually does it. How does Karen react?
Oh, I just met elves in general. You're good people. I like you. Very respectable.
You see him crack a smile. We're not people. We're elves.
That is a good
I appreciate that. Listen, thank you.
You see him just shake his head, like you clearly missed that he was making a joke.
Yeah, she missed the joke.
Like that's sort of his body language. So, all right, here's the dealio. So now it's time for all of you to follow kind of Karen's plan in this. So the other elves are like, Acosta sort of pushed the other elves like, no. Outsiders want to fight a crocodile. We'll let them fight the crocodile. So as you all begin sort of getting into position to carry out Karen's plan,
Are we about to find out that the crocodiles are sorcerers?
I hope so.
here's what I need. I'm going
But
to
they
need
are.
each of you to give me, to get into good position, stealth checks in order to set this up well.
Oh,
So
shit.
now, Trent, yes, go ahead and take a +1 for hunting prey on this.
Sweet.
Nice.
Whatever your hunt prey bonus is, I don't know if it's higher. I'm so unfamiliar
It's,
with
it's
those.
just the you're talking hunt prey. I got you. Yeah, +2.
Yeah.
Can I use invisibility? Or is
Yes.
that,
Yes, you
Mm,
totally can.
I have a +1 to stealth.
that's better
but
than
I can be
Karen's.
invisible for 10 minutes.
Holy shit, Isaac.
Good lord, Tope.
I disappear into the jungle.
Actually,
No.
yeah, okay. Let me see. Do I have
It's
any?
like, guys? Guys?
Where'd you all go? I can't see you. 1 second, I'm seeing
for
if
what
I
it's
have
Felix,
anything.
Felix is as hidden as Tope. So, like, Tope and Felix just into the forest. And it's something that, like, Acosta does, frankly, it's like kind of giving a look, especially having seen Felix in his, like, chainmail and breastplate and his big. Like, Felix would be walking armory.
Yeah.
And he just disappears into the foliage.
Never here.
Karen is
And then
going.
no,
Yeah.
just literally disappears.
Karen's going to
Have you
try and
guys-
get close to the tree line, but behind a tree, trying to not walk as much as possible.
Oh, I can cast invisibility on Karen. as
Oh,
well,
please,
if
yes,
you want.
yes, please, if you
Okay.
can,
So
absolutely.
I use brain bonded item and then just cast it again.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, so you draw from that, you hit Karen. So here's the deal. I'm saying that those of you who cast invisibility don't get to roll. You automatically succeed, but you have no chance of critically succeeding.
I'm okay with that. I'm 100%
Actually,
okay
no,
with
no,
that.
no, you know what? I still want you to roll a stealth check. It'll be
Fuck.
a much lower DC, because these are animals and they can still smell you.
Okay.
shit. This
Public
is
or
good.
private?
I don't know.
Oh wait, everyone else was public. Oh, thank God. Okay, I'll take it.
Okay, so no, you just fail.
He smells like herbs.
Well, no, you still make sound. You actually you make a sort of a clumsier movement. So instead of critically failing, though, you just fail.
Cool, man.
And so you and the phase node will take a -2 on your check.
Oh, that's good. That's what I needed.
Karen,
Yeah.
you just no, you're fine.
Yes.
And same for both of you. No, Tope and Felix, you don't critically succeed, but you succeed. This is a very high check against such prey.
So out of curiosity, what did I actually roll? Because I threw mine in the tower.
29.
Nice.
Good buddy.
1 point behind Topaz. I was like, oh damn, you two just disappear. And so
Yeah.
what I'll say is, I think it is very mechanical, but talk to me a little bit about, now knowing your successes, talk to me a little bit about narratively what you're doing to get into place. Help paint me a picture of what I get to watch tonight as the GM.
All right.
Nobody fucking knows what Felix is doing to get in the place. I.
Karen is trying to get. She's sneaking down towards the tree line where it goes from trees into the riverbank, and she's not passing that final tree line, and hiding behind trees or brush as much as possible, so that she can have a wide range of view for where everyone is in the forest behind her, and the crocs are in front of her.
Okay. Tope, talk to me about what you're doing. Paint me
Yeah. So I was actually trying to look up something real quick. Skip me.
Okay, in that case, no. Talk to me about like what the camera would see for a second when it's cutting between the different groups.
Absolutely nothing. No, he'd just be like crawling up. He's in the back. No one doesn't really like care that much about crocodiles. Like he was mostly paying attention to Akosa. And like he's mostly like kind of like trying to protect the group in general.
Okay.
So he'd be ready to cast like my like ward spell on everyone.
So where is
Okay, so-
Gnome? Like, who are you with, if anyone?
On fucking the
Well, that's-
crocodiles.
That's
I don't
enough
know,
of a description. Okay, so like I can see.
I try to be like central and like close to everyone.
Sand
Okay.
slowly leading down towards the bank. I see Gnome's footprints kind of around the group in the background.
Yeah.
I think. What do we see for Tope then?
So, I guess if you'll allow it, this morning when I have had time to take a biting snare,
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You have the pairs.
so I think he's basically pulling this out of his pack and like preparing to sort of lay it down before we kick this thing off.
Okay, so I can see like Tope right at the edge of like where the river plants, like where the forest sort of gives way to the riverbank plants, is setting up the snare. The invisible foot Karen's kind of walk towards it, stop, and then walk around the snare. And I think just for comedy's sake, finally the camera goes to cut to what the viewer knows should be Felix. And just the camera pans, like almost Predator stuff, like in the Predator movie, like pans. And there's no actors in the shot.
No, there were. Felix is actually doing some preparation. I was being funny in that case.
So they walk down before.
So Felix is, since his job is going to be to drive beasts, he's going wide, kind of on his own, just getting low, creeping along, but what he's importantly going to do is, as he gets to his perch to flush the crocodiles out of the water with rocks and hatred, he's going to take his long spear and pike and shot style plant it in the earth facing the animal.
Nice.
So if anything charges him, one, there's a sharp stick to hide behind, two, there's a sharp stick to grab out of the mud and be ready to fight with.
That's a
Nice.
really good idea. Like a
So
really
you've got
good
that,
one.
and you've already shared what weapons you have prepped. No, what's in your hands is like after you get into position, you've got all your material components laid, you're ready to cast any of the spells. Like, so I imagine it takes almost half an hour for Felix to get into position.
I do want to mention this means that Felix is starting combat without his hammer in hand.
Oh no.
It's still on his belt, it's ready to go. But
It's not yet returning, so to flush
Yeah,
them out.
be careful.
a returning hammer is kind of going to obsolete his sling, huh?
Yeah, it's definitely going to, but that's okay. Give it one last hurrah.
What you asked me what?
Yeah. So
I-
after half an hour of getting ready, you'll see Felix kind of getting into position. You know, it's about time. What's that last moment about to get ready? Because we're not going to roll actual
Okay.
combat attacks, so I want to kind of have an idea of how Gnome's ready.
No would be ready. He'd be thinking of like spell, he whispers like the spells he's gonna cast under his breath. So he's like thinking of like fucking like magic missile and true strike and like his warding spells in case like we get attacked by crocodiles. But he's got the dagger. He has two daggers. He has a dagger he used as like a hell knight in his hand, which is his bonded item. And in his other hand, he's got the magic dagger he just got. And I think he would turn that one into a spear.
Nice.
Oh, nice. So you trying to do a spear, your Hellknight dagger. I can kind of see Gnome like hunkering down. He knows he's not the fastest anymore, but he's seen a lot of stuff. He's been in ambushes before. Karen, what's Karen?
Karen is being extremely tactical right now. She's trying to really adapt to the forest and hunting in the forest. She's really trying to keep tabs on where mainly Felix and Tope are, so that she can see, she can kind of estimate which way the croc's going to come at her. You know, like if one's on my left, one's on the right. If they shoot right at it, will it come kind of to my left? Is it going to go to my right? You know, she's really trying to. She's playing chess here, but definitely holding on to the flail.
I think I would also note that you kind of have a somewhat familiar feeling here, Karen. You've got sand under your feet.
Oh, okay.
And you hear the sound of water moving.
Mm-hmm. So
And
it brings
I
her
don't know
home.
what that feels like for you, but it's the temperature. It's hot.
Mhm.
It's humid. You're in a similar like distance from the equator sort of area to where you grew up.
Mhm.
And although it looks very different and the prey is very different,
She feels very at home in the biome. She's kind of going back with the strategy. She's trying to be as smart as possible, but She's also going to be listening to her instincts when they tell her things.
Don't forget, you've also got behind you a trap snare set up with Tope ready.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's what the camera's going to finally go to last. Tope, you've got the trap set up. What are you doing? What's in your hand? Help me see the picture of Tope right before it begins.
Oh yeah, so if the trap's set up, he's, getting into place, probably down on one knee, pulling out 2 arrows and knocking them simultaneously.
Nice. So your bow's out. It's a pretty impressive bow, right? It's one of your magical items.
Yeah, it's a +1 composite longbow.
Nice. Yeah.
A big motherfucker.
So all the bows are finally there. All of you see Felix plant the spear, but it's quiet, Slings out. And there's almost a sort of silence where you only hear the chirping of birds above the river until Felix, how do you kick it off?
Presuming that Felix has an idea where he's supposed to be flushing.
Yeah, you know that you're flushing him towards you. Karen being Karen, I assume there was some sort of drawn in the mud and sand, little football style X's and O's.
Yeah.
Sweet.
She definitely would have put little symbols in the mud.
I can't believe that Karen has etched me a line in the sand.
Blue 42, blue 42.
Hut, hut.
No, I was thinking more dumb and less football, but yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that was HW, but whatever.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Mission accomplished.
So anyway, Felix's strategy here is going to be to open up by narrowly missing the crocodile with a shot, and then trying to hit it from the back to try to just drive it away from... There's something happening over there, I don't know what it is, and I don't like it.
So then here's what I'd like.
Like hurting goats.
Give me a survival check, because now that you're in the hunt itself, boom, kicks off. And
Secret or public, doesn't matter.
public. The hunt is kicking off.
Yes!
Oh, that was a crit. What the fuck?
Well done, Felix. Yes, bro. That's how you do it.
At 20.
So Felix, you actually miss your first shot. And it clocks one in the back of the head. You one of the crocodiles just go limp. The others start from it. It's enough of a jerk. When they start they start moving away. It was aggressive enough. They start coming. Karen, you see them coming. You want to get their attention. This is survival from some hunting, some survival here.
The good news, if Felix had fucked up and Eddie had scattered towards him, he'd have a steak ready.
Okay, just clarification. Am I trying to get them towards me right this second?
Yeah, you know the best way for this to win is to bring them into the trap that you have set.
Okay.
Okay, and no, I'll have set.
Alright. Ugh, not great.
Oh, and what I will say, so you did your crafting, your cooking is crafting, right?
Yes.
If you want to, because this is technically hunting, I will let you make your craft hunting check.
Oh shit, yeah, that's higher. I'll take that.
But that's a little higher for you. That is
It is.
technically.
Hey, yes.
But you don't succeed, but you don't fail. So they start coming at you. It's not amazing. They're coming towards you. You throw one of your weapons at them. You throw a rock or something. You attack them. You're going to come out of the invisibility on the beach, and they see you. Upset from Isaac, not knowing where that shot came from, seeing you, and they start heading towards you.
Good. Can I rage?
If you want to.
Yes.
Sure.
Karen will rage.
So crocodiles are coming in. Now, either Tope or Gnome, either of you can choose to act next. As this sort of, think that it's like a storyboarding, basically. Crocodiles moving in the water. They're coming in fast. The water's churning up.
Yeah, fire.
Alright, so Tope, here's what I'd like. Because of the trap you set up, I'd like you can choose to make either a crafting or a survival. I see that for you they're the same.
Survival's actually +15.
So here's the thing. Use your hunt and prey.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you get that
yourself an
+1.
additional +2 from your trap.
Nice. Rangers, man, this is exactly what you're made for.
Not very high.
Still,
Rolled a 7.
that +15.
They're coming in. They're coming in. You, Karen, on the way by, like it's throwing a couple of them, keeping her distance. Backing up, attack.
Yeah, I'll tell you, James.
Trap.
The next thing Karen is going to do is in athletics to jump over the trap to drive them into it. But I'll let everyone else go first.
It's one check.
Oh, it's only one? Oh, okay, cool. Got it.
Yeah. So Karen is survival. She's hunting. She's bringing back. She's doing a couple of wounds here and there. Tobei's trap goes off. One nose coming over the trap right at Karen and Tobei. What do you do? It'll be a survival check for you. But what do you do?
I think I'll cast like magic missile to try to like
Sure.
blast them.
No, like keep in mind, like, this survival check is representing like a hunt over the course of like half an hour. Like what you're engaged attacking, it's this bigger story. So you're using your spells, you're flinging magic at them. Go ahead and get a survival check for me as you're sort of
Survival
trying.
check.
Yep.
Probably not high.
Hold up.
Because this is the art of hunting more than it is a specific combat.
Oh
That's a crit
no!
fail. That's like a double crit fail.
It's real bad.
You are eaten by a crocodile.
That's okay.
So it goes poorly there.
Yeah.
Very.
Alright. And what I will say is that
Your magic missile like lights a tree on fire and starts burning down the forest.
so
Starts
over
burning
the
down the
course
jungle.
of the hunt, all of you except for Felix.
Alright, that sound it turned out was the kitten almost knocking down my PS4. How's it
Oh
going?
no.
Everything's good. I've locked him in with my sister for the time being.
Nice. There you go.
So, with the exception of Felix, over the course of the hunt, all of you except for Felix take 31 points of damage.
Jeez.
Whew.
Dang.
I got mine, James.
I got you.
Holy shit, I have so many hit points for the wizard. Oh my god.
Right?
Abjuration.
I just like heard 31 and I was like, I'm a wizard, that just killed me. I was like, oh, I'll be fine.
Tobei would have been healed up last time I was working on you, so you're at 31 as well. So, boom, you're all a little worse for wear. But, so here's how I'm ruling it. So, although parts of it went bad, as the hunt goes down, Karen
Do you
and
want
Tobei, they did do okay, but Felix is honestly like the odd sort of standout of this. And maybe it's the combination of stealth or attack or sneak attacks, but by the end of it, by the time it's all done, Felix has finished off clean and carefully about, you know what, let's, 5 crocodiles.
Dang!
And it's worth noting that Felix, with your crit success there, each of these are extremely merciful, clean kills.
Hell yeah.
You notice draws quite a bit of attention, and Tobei, you would know that while the Akujay aren't against hunting, they're definitely against cruelty. So a clean kill, a merciful kill, is a huge point. And there's quite a few of them who are watching Felix now, who, if I remember correctly, this means that Felix showed impressive powers against the twin leopards. Not quite as much as Karen and Gnome,
Yeah.
but like Felix was the one who really stood up in the dance battle.
Right.
Felix now has like taken down several of these crocodiles. And so a lot of them are just eyeing this relatively like northern, like very Avistani pretty boy. And they'll just kind of
This gorgeous man.
and so even like Akosa sort of steps forward. Your strikes were strong and true. You vanish into the wood, one of us. He says that to Felix.
Sorry, I got distracted. What was that?
He said
I
you're
heard the cat.
See, the cat.
I did hear the cat, but I heard the other cat, the one that I'm not worried about.
He said, Your strikes land strong and true. You
Done a
blend
lot
in-
of traveling in my time, brother.
You blend into the woods like one of us.
Had to avoid a lot of people in my life.
He sort of looks at you for a second. I wish you would have been with me at Whitebridge Station. Sort of grunts and walks off.
Felix just nods, like, pensively.
Can we roll like a recall knowledge?
Yeah,
check
I was just
to know
thinking
what
of
the
that.
station was?
Any of you want me to, any of you who want to, give me society in the dice tower.
Yes, absolutely.
I also have lore underworld, if that's more appropriate.
Yeah, if you want to drop a lore underworld, you can. But what I'll say is this is a pretty easy knowledge check, and a reason that will become clear in a second.
Gotcha. I'll do society. I already dropped the society.
It didn't show up for me. If you want to drop it in the dice tower again,
Okay.
or you can do your lore, whatever you want.
Cool. I'm up forever. Oh, I keep doing the dragon icon, not the dice.
Oh yeah, you gotta drag the number.
Yeah, so Nob and Karen, both of you remember that's the name of the outpost that Tam
Sorry, you cut out. It's the outpost. What?
shared that story with you about.
From
I don't
Corvosa?
know if was here for that.
I out of character don't
you
remember
were.
that.
Was it?
Yeah, remember that scene I painted for you about the Akuje elves of the Apsis Consortium walking back to what should have been their slave mining outposts and find every single member of their guard over that outpost slaughtered with a single note left behind saying, "Stay out of our lands.
Ooh.
Yes.
We'll come for you."
Cool.
Right. Okay.
Let me see if I can find more notes on that. As a matter of fact, here is the exact the note that was left. Come slavers and cowards, come thick in numbers. We shall string up your people like pigs in a leopard's larder. Your weapons and charms shall be toys for our children. Like poachers who have flung arrows yet failed to strike the killing blow. You have provoked our wrath. Every drop of our blood you shed, we take back from you tenfold. Beware, we are the spears that pierce through the darkness, the nightmare of demons, the wrestler of serpents. Send all of your armies and we will destroy them. Let your children send armies and we will destroy them. Let your grandchildren send armies and we will destroy them. Send the gods who protect you and we will throw them down.
Does anyone want to be the guy to tell them that leopards don't have larder?
So, who was the ones that were slaughtered here in this one?
So the Apsis Consortium, the
Capitalists.
Oh, the Ferengis. And who did the slaughtering?
Yakuje.
Okay, I see. So they
Because,
killed
yeah.
slavers. I got it.
So the Apsis Consortium had captured and forced a lot of locals into slavery to mine gold in the area.
Hmm.
And the Akuje responded by coming back and slaughtering and leaving all the bodies there hung up and strung up around the burnt remnants of the outpost. When the
Gotcha.
next wave of the Apsis Consortium officers and guards came in reinforcements, they found a burning heap of ruins, the bodies of all of their comrades, and that note tacked to the chest of the leader.
Gotcha. Then when Karen hears him say, "We could have used you at that battle," she'll say, "You were right to do what you did there. I would have been honored to join you. They were horrible." Did everyone freeze? Am I the only one who's frozen? Hello? Oh crap. Hello? Hello? Can anyone hear me?
I think Discord
Hey,
just farted.
yeah, I don't know what that was. That wasn't just me?
Nope.
Oh, that was me. I hung up and got back in.
Oh no, I think Discord... Yeah, Discord freaked out for a second, but it's back. So, I don't know if you heard any of that.
Probably not that.
Yeah, Karen, at him saying we could have used you at the battle of whatever you just called
no,
it.
I caught all of that.
Oh, yeah.
His response was, I didn't do anything except fail to escape until the others came, until the leopards came.
Those monsters held you
You
there.
have gone through these things, brother. But shedding blood over blood only leads to more death.
He shakes his head. You know the rules. When outsiders
So
come,
do
when they
I.
defile our lands, we take from them. We defend the jungle in the way that it can't itself. I may have been held captive, but there are those here who are better. There are those here who I owe a debt to. Jassi was one who came to save me, and even before that I counted him as one of my closest friends. He's honestly opening up a little more when Felix is around, because to some extent, like, Felix has just blown him away and impressed him. Finally, though, the rest of the elves sort of finish tying up the crocodiles to these poles, and they're carrying 5 fucking crocodiles.
Oh, Karen will absolutely be helping with that.
I imagine Karen just, like, takes
Yeah,
one
one.
over the shoulders. And
Just does, like, the baseball bat thing, like this. Yeah.
And I feel like it's tied to a bit of wood, and then it's hanging from that wood, so you can baseball bat
Yeah.
the log.
That's how she's doing
but
it.
the-
She's a baseball bat in the log, carrying the croc, like, on the back of her shoulders, hefting that thing along. If you need an athletics check, I'll do it.
No. This is under no pressure.
Gotcha.
The hefty hollow feet.
Yes, I have that.
Oh shit.
Felix does too.
That's like the greatest feat.
I needed hefty hauler because he was carrying too many weapons.
Yeah, it's
like a
crucial feat. I can't
I think that might be the first world of problems.
Jim's dwarf has it. He can carry like 12 encumbrance before
I love
he gets,
Duncan.
like,
Duncan's great.
slowed 5.
My no penalty is 11.
Duncan is good. I like the Duncan's voice alternates between like gruff and gruff southern.
Yeah, I love Duncan.
I'm a fan.
So additionally, so all of you sort of work your way back. By the time you get back, it's been about a 3 or 4 hour hunt.
Fame.
And so you guys have spent a good portion of the day working on this. So let me do a quick little.
If I'm getting ahead of you, James, just let me know. But after the hunt, once we get back, Karen would definitely want to be with the the cooks to see like at least how they would prepare these crocs, if not how to cook them.
Awesome. Yeah, so you all get back, you start cooking up. Let me check one note I left for myself a while ago.
Unless it would be dishonorable for the guest to be helping with the cooking, in which case she will not. But if it's not dishonorable, she would want to learn how to do the cooking and the prepping.
Your general take on all of this so far has been that while they yeah, you know what, that went well enough. That was a ton of fun.
Basically, our norms only apply to other elves. Anybody
yeah.
else we're sort of okay
That makes
with.
sense.
And so, as a matter of fact, you stepping up to help is something that like they would expect other elves to do, but you doing it as a guest is sort of a further presence. So actually, you know what?
Cool.
Do me a favor here.
Yeah.
In the kitchen, let's do a couple of crafting checks.
Oh, absolutely. I'm down for that.
So what I'd like is a crafting check for you, real quick.
Hidden or public?
Public.
Okay.
You're gonna do 2 crafting checks.
Yeah, not great, not terrible. Okay, there's one in.
Okay, so you kind of got a rough start.
Okay. Oh, that was almost a 17. Dirty 20.
Yeah, fine. You clean up good with that though, and you do win the approval of some of the cooks in the kitchen as well. So there's gonna be some extra XP for that.
Hey, thank goodness.
Karen's working along in the kitchen. While you're doing that though, Karen, one thing I'd like for you to do for absolutely no reason at all.
Of course not.
Would you make a fortitude save for me?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. 30. That was
Okay.
almost a 2.
So you start feeling a little ill as the
Oh.
evening goes on.
Wait, I have a
Not
thing.
enough to have a mechanical effect necessarily, but something feels off to you.
I don't know if this matters mechanically, but I do have the fast recovery feat, which each time I succeed at fortitude saves against an ongoing disease or poison, I reduce its stage by 2. Or by 1 against a virulent of a disease or poison. I don't know if that applies.
It does, actually.
Okay, so, yeah.
But you don't know where it came from or what it is. You'd have to...
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just remembered
You need
like an
to-
hour ago that I have that feat.
You need a nature check or something to figure out why you're feeling so ill, but no one else seems to be
That I
suffering
could
from
do.
it.
That I could do. Is this one private, probably?
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Nature.
Oh, hey, bookkeeping question. Is Felix supposed to have 37 wounds still?
Yeah. Yes. No, I didn't know how to get back. Tam would be like, "Oh dear God, he fixes everyone up."
That's true.
Yeah,
He would.
right.
Pretty big hand wave.
Okay, thank goodness.
Yeah, I genuinely don't remember how long ago in story or in real life I picked those up.
I picked him up in the fight with that fiery dragon image. That was earlier in game today.
Okay.
True.
So Karen, you recognize the feeling in the traces you can investigate. You somehow came into contact with arsenic poisoning.
Arsenic poisoning. Huh. As soon as she
Yeah.
kind of figures, I'll notice something. I'm kind of tasting almonds. Do you have some kind of a doctor in this city? A medicine man, shaman? I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you call it in your culture. Someone who specializes in like potions and herbs and helps with the sick. She's asking around like the kitchen.
One of the ship cooks is like, me.
Oh, fantastic. I've kind of got an almond taste in my mouth. I think I might have picked up some arsenic poisoning. Do you know if you have anything for that?
To which he responds.
Twitchy?
There's a to which he
Oh,
responds.
to which. I thought you said his name was Twitchy. Dang. Alright then, thank you. And Karen will try to go find Tope. Or Akosa or Niktaya. Any of the three.
Or Tam.
Or Tam. Yeah, Tam would work.
Well, Tam is still working on the others.
Oh.
patching them up. All except for Felix, who's getting patched up from earlier in the day, but the rest of you have some serious croc rips and tears.
Yeah, so Karen will walk up to Tam and be like, Tam, I'm not sure how, but I think I got poisoned while we were out on the hunt. You have any anti-venom? Or anti-poison on you?
Tam kind of does some medicine checks, and he's like, "Well, it doesn't look like you're, whatever it is. It looks like your body's fighting it off fine. But how did you get arsenic?"
I have no idea. I mean, I feel alright for the most part. Whatever it was probably a bad bitch.
Wait, are we all together for this?
Yeah, because Tam would have been fixing all of you up.
And so he was in the kitchen. He got arsenic poisoning.
That's when he noticed the symptoms, but he doesn't know
Yeah.
when it happened.
Yeah, that's when Karen noticed the symptoms.
No, I'm just gonna. He's like fucking elf poisoning, mate.
Well, I sure hope
Oh,
not.
Mag,
I don't think any of the people
Yeah.
here dislike me yet.
you can't trust anyone.
Never trust an elf.
You can never trust an elf. Exactly. We were all on that hunt. And
What's this?
none of us got poisoned.
Was this one of those pranks she was trying to pull?
What?
Yeah, you know that old classic prank of arsenic poisoning.
That old chestnut. That classic chestnut. Right up there with putting saran wrap on the toilet seat.
You know, and just slipping a little bit of meth into someone's food.
Right. Is there any kind of check to have figured out, like, how I could have gotten this? Nature, survival?
So I actually rolled a society check, an investigation check in the background for Gnome as he's kind
Ah.
of thinking about this.
I'm sure.
Now, yeah, I wasn't sure, like, you're kind of thinking back through it. And you're like, alright. You remembered that Karen was the only one who handled the golden treasure from near the from near the portal. And you also remember that you commented like the gold looked kind of weird. It was kind of buried or like thrown off.
Oh yeah.
Aaron's the only one who handled it.
Huh.
Then would start. He would do the detective pacing. He'd like, like he's like figuring it all out. He's like counting on his fingers and shit.
All 9.
All 9.
Oh nice, you have 9
Six
fingers?
Fingered man.
I love that.
No, I just made that up.
Oh.
Known as the other 6 fingered man.
Yes.
That's why he's such a good spellcaster. He
That
has
makes
an extra pinky.
One extra pinky to help with the somatic.
Exactly. Where's the gold? Where's that going right now?
Karen still has it on her person.
Oh, I've got it right here in my bag.
Put your bag down.
Yeah, alright. And she'll put her bag down and... Yeah, what you thinking there, Neb?
Neb would like... He would like put gloves on. And he'd like isolate the fucking arsenic gold.
So, Gnome, if you want to give me a crafting check,
Ooh. I'm trained.
or anyone who wants to give me a crafting check while Gnome's looking at it.
Yeah.
Oh, is that secret?
Nope, this is open.
Oh,
Holy shit.
no, I'm not going to waste a roll.
Felix?
Yeah,
So
I'm not going to roll.
Felix and Tope both looking at it are like, oh shit, like, it doesn't look like something was happened, but it looks like the gold itself, not that it was treated with it, but whatever
Dude, this
vein
is
it's
dope.
cut from seems to have arsenic in it of some
Huh.
kind.
Gotcha.
And,
Gnome is like, oh, good.
and as a matter of fact, that same skill check, the two of you working together, can spend about 10 minutes with a combination of alchemy items and tools, which I mentioned they set up TAM in an area that probably has some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So with a set of alchemist tools, Tam Tope and Felix are able to actually alchemically treat and remove the arsenic tainting of the gold.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hell yeah, brother.
So was this gold? This was the gold we found in the Moingy.
Yeah, exactly.
In the where?
Gnome would go like immediately and ask like Jazzy or Kosa or Nikita about it.
Where did we find this
So
gold?
We found. Is this the one we found near that pillar? The like
exactly.
the statue thing.
Oh,
With like the broken.
that's
sword.
right. Outside the elf gate. I
Exactly
remember.
right.
I mean, detective shit on this.
Yeah. So
That makes sense. They put it there to attract people to the elf gate or through the elf gate, and anyone who takes it, well, they get what they get. I guess. Lucky thing I made a heart of
I
stuff.
think Gnome would be wicked suspicious of the elves or of other things. He's in like detective mode.
So, if you find Natalia, talking to her, she sort of is taken aback. Really interesting. We don't trust much of the gold here. And as she says this, you gotta realize that actually Jossie is the only person you've seen wearing
Yeah, I was
gold.
about to say. I would say, what about your boy Jazzy? He's all decked out in gold.
Well,
You don't want to use gold because you know it's gonna poison you. Like you let it poison
Well,
Karen.
no, it's not that.
Highly suspect.
My father wears the gold because he is.
Oh, they're related. Ferretti,
And so,
that's crazy.
yeah, Coletti, drop a society check in the dice tower for me.
Oh shit. Okay. Society. What did you say? Okay.
So you would know that Coletti, you sort of picked up, or is an Akuje word for someone of great purity that cannot be debased by corruption. Often applies to heroes and champions. But you critically succeeded.
Nice.
Which actually I shouldn't tell you, but you also feel like you remember reading something else. You remember reading a little bit, because I assume at some point you brushed up a little bit on what you knew about Mwangi lore. And you remember reading about how, you were seeing this word now, something else you read about how when the Akuje stood as defenders to try to, you know, that it's some part of their defense of Galarian that used some form of magic that required select elves that were seen as of a certain amount of purity or of goodwill or of a certain alignment to sacrifice themselves to power the spell to help protect the Galarian.
Dude, Gnome was all over that shit. Like a
And
ritual?
so,
A ritual?
sacrifice? Kind of, yeah. And so you're kind of piecing together, you're like, oh shit. So you realize two things in this moment. One, that means that Jossie is someone who's basically, in his life, knows that, like, in a time of great calling, he will have to give his life to power potentially to power the spell, another spell to protect either his people or this planet. But on top of that, that's also piecing together for you that while the Akuje had a culture of a whole of defending the Mwangi Expanse, you did kind of get the impression, it was very incomplete in what you were reading, that some specific tribes carry more of a ancestral connection to that fight. And so that you sort of had this realization that it might very well be the Leopard tribe that is at least, perhaps not the only, but the Leopard tribe are direct descendants of the elves who helped fight against whatever it was that the elves stayed in the Mwangi Expanse to help save Galarian. But like of all the Akuje, the Leopard clan were some of those who made the greatest sacrifices to fight some sort of unnamed foe of the past. Something that you've heard them all call the Great Darkness, but not knowing what that is.
Gotcha. That's a lot.
And so you like, that's a big Sherlockian sort of revelation for you. And she says, but in terms of her question, she does say, our legends have always said that gold is cooled blood and breath of the darkness that spilled across the land when we fought it. Much of the gold here in our land is tainted metal, corrupted by the greed and violence of its progenitor. They say that only those who are truly pure of soul can wear it. It's why even the darkness cannot lead them astray. Those are like my father, Kaledi. It's the highest honor we can give, but the gold of our land is tainted by the darkness from which it flew as blood.
I think Gnome would. Did you tell me a name for the spell, or is just like I know, like kind of what it's about?
No. Like
Just
every
like-
bit of your research just refers to some great powerful magic.
I'm gonna say, you mentioned the what's it called? Calestrati?
Kaledi.
Kaledi.
Kaledi. I think so. You mentioned the Kaledi. I read somewhere of a great magic of a ritual sacrifice of the Kaledi. What can you
She's
tell
really
me
taking it
about
back
this?
at first. That is not the broadest known knowledge. There was once a ritual among our people, the Anima invocation. It allowed a truly virtuous person, such as my father or others before him, to give up her life. And she's using her here as a pronoun, generally, not that her father identifies as her.
Right.
And split their soul apart into different spirits. And the power of such sacrifice and the integrity of those spirits would bolster the weapons of our warriors, allowing them to fight back against the darkness. And we no longer know the secrets of the Anima invocation. So should the darkness escape, our people would be defenseless and the first to suffer. But that's something we hope will not come to fruition.
Like all this talk about it, Tope's kind of like turning away, and he's not like angry or being angsty. He just like really does not like hearing about this stuff.
And it'd be interesting for Tope, because like you've sort of heard this, but you've heard that like there are some clans that have like a deeper tie to this tradition than others. Yours not being one of them.
Right.
And so you're kind of piecing together like, oh shit, this is that clan.
Gnome was like interested in the elves again. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like this is taking up all of. So she said that a lot of the gold around here is cursed. Like that's fairly normal.
Yes.
Gotcha, cool. And Gnome would sidestep that and be thinking, he'd just be thinking about this ritual now.
She's like, well, if you'll excuse me, I have to finish getting ready for the dinner. It's almost time to begin.
Ye,
Thank you for your time.
Actually, look, you've asked questions of me. Perhaps there's something I can ask in return. She just stops, turns back to, who all's there? At least Gnome and Tope are there. Did everyone else kind of tag along?
yeah, Karen was there because she came in and asked about the poison.
Sure.
Yeah.
She says, well, and at this point, like, the feast is probably 10 or 20 minutes from starting.
Mhm.
And so they're already kind of all sitting together, so she kind of points over. She kind of was pointing to her father a couple times when they were talking about the Coletti. Says, my father and his friend over there, Akosa, who you went hunting with earlier. She kind of takes her staff and gestures. You see the two of them are sitting down, like already kind of ready, and some people are starting to sit down at the table and getting ready. And the two of them are sort of leaning in, whispering a little quietly to each other. She looks back now, specifically at Gnome, but sort of to the whole group. They're both clueless. They have been friends ever since childhood, and I swear they've been in love for at least the past 10 years. Ever since my father helped Akosa recover from his time with the Absence Consortium, and in turn, Akosa helped my father recover from my mother's death. Neither of them, though, will do anything about it. They both have too many concerns invented in their own minds. They both worry what my mother would think. But I know precisely what my mother would think. She'd think they're both being fucking fools. Look, I've let them
She's a
dance
very
around each
liberal
other.
lady.
I've let
Oh
them
wait, is
dance.
she dead?
Her mother,
Oh, my.
yes.
Oh, never mind. I take that back.
Fucking orcs.
I have let them dance around each other for decades. But, look, seeing my father's injuries coming back after meeting you, so much happening today, I've decided life is too short, even for elves. Maybe even especially for elves. She gets quiet for a second, seems pensive, shakes her head, scoffs. The elders here say it is not our place to interfere in other people's personal lives, but I'm half-elf, so what do I care about that? Look, do me a favor, if you will. I'll answer as many questions as I can later. But do you help me turn the festive atmosphere tonight into a bit of a romantic one? See if we can't get to those two to finally catch the hints that they've been failing to drop.
That sounds lovely. I'd love to bring another family together. And Karen kind of stares off as she says that.
Excellent. Well, look, I don't want it to be too obvious. If they see me doing it, I'll have to answer for it later. It'll all be fine, of course, but I'm gonna leave you to it, so it doesn't look like I'm playing a hand in it. Jossie likes you. He's always nicer to outsiders than the rest. That he really should be. And it seems like, she kind of looks over at you now, Felix. Seems like you've impressed Akosa as well. Word is that spear slayed crocodiles today, and numbers that our tales will tell for weeks to come.
Well, turns out the stakes of my people are quite dangerous.
Excellent. Well, I must go and get ready for the Storyteller's Circle later, but please enjoy the feast. The crocodiles.
Supposed to set him up.
Excellent. Yep, there is straight up a social encounter of playing matchmaker in this chapter,
Thank
and
God.
I cannot be fucking happier.
I'm excited for that. I'm okay with
After
it.
this, he can't hunt alligators, but he's a tracker of men.
Karen has intimidation and society. Let's do this.
All I can think is how badly I wish that I could play to the group right now the beginning of Silent Whisper.
Oh, I thought that was going to be a flute version of Silent Whisper, and I was about to shit a brick.
You know what? 1 second.
Oh
Remember when Tulip would find all of those
Excited.
pan flute versions of songs? That was the best. God, I miss Tulip.
Well, I'm serious that I think
no. Let's go.
that I think Josh will be at some point joining us. Oh, sorry, it's Careless Whisper. I always get them confused. And Josh is seriously talking about rolling another bard.
Yes.
Oh my god.
In this game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I hate bards.
I love bards. It's my favorite class, generally.
All right,
You
everyone.
were
I'm going to pause. I'm going to pause Sirenscape, and I will request that everyone who is available to, please begin playing this YouTube video in the background.
Yes.
Say Careless Whisper.
On flute for 10 minutes.
Oh no. I
Oh, it's so loud.
Make it very quiet.
don't know that. That is terrible.
Perfect.
Yeah, I was about to say no bards in the game, by the way, and then you were like, I've already got a bard rolled up, and I was like, I can't ask this man
Yo.
to make a
Nobody
different
care
character.
about this music. Everybody stop listening to this music and focus all of your attention on this guy's mullet.
It's terrible.
Yeah, this is a power mullet.
This guy's got an incredible fucking mullet.
Okay, I can't handle that song. I'm stopping
I mean,
it.
if you're gonna upload a video to YouTube of you playing Careless Whisper on a flute,
For 10 minutes.
better have a fucking awesome mullet.
You better. Give me something to look at. Ugh, good lord. Okay, well, what's going on? What's happening?
Now.
Feast, yes. Social thing, yes.
The feast is beginning. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, here we go. Come on, Sirenscape. Come on, Sirenscape. You're really fucking me over here.
I hear something.
Oh, it didn't start for me. Well, now I'm restarting it. Alright. So the feast kicks off. And actually, you know what? We're right on time tonight. So let's give you all 2 weeks to think about how you want to try to set up these two. I also want to preview for you that one of the other events at the feast is a pepper eating contest.
Oh, hell yeah. That sounds awesome.
So it's like, the more I kept reading through this book, I'm like, oh my god, we straight up have like a borderline dating sim social encounter. And I could not be happier about how plot arc is trying to set up these two elven men.
That's so funny.
So while I do love playing Persona, what do I have to roll to win the pepper eating competition?
Probably fort saves, my guess.
Fortitude saves.
Yeah.
Fortitude is my least trained, but
Karen's-
highest skill. My
Karen will be
highest
all up in
save,
that.
But also my least trained.
Oh, it was amazing. It's both fortitude, or if they fail fortitude, deception to show that they're not being affected by it.
That's funny.
That's dope.
How
I equal rolled it.
how old does her father look?
On the younger side, he's not like a ancient elf, but he's old. He's probably several hundred years.
Yeah, Tope's like 430. So
Oh, shit.
he's
Where's
looking about
Tope?
Tope's age.
Where's Tope in the human equivalency?
Probably like 60, man.
Okay, so a little younger than that. They'd be in their like 40, late 40s.
Okay.
So they're a little younger than you. So yeah, I'll give you all a couple weeks to think about it. But like seriously, like I said, I started reading through it and I got stupidly excited about a gay dating sim.
That's
scenario.
super funny. I love it. I wonder how many people this
cannot,
pisses
like-
off.
Honestly, I really appreciate that Paizo's been doing a lot. Like canonically, they have quite a few of the canonical iconic characters as LGBTQ characters,
Yeah,
which I've always appreciated.
it's cool for them to do that. Unlike wizards.
Well, it also makes sense that like I feel like elves in particular, like when you live a life that long, it's got to be a little
Yeah,
weird in
seriously.
terms of fluid sexuality anyway.
Uh-huh.
And they've
100%.
also a culture that's been around a lot longer, so it's had enough time to go through the whole like, hey guys, let's not be dicks about this.
Yeah, right. Longer than
And
humans, anyway.
So I also just. So yeah, I'm super stoked. So I'll a little look behind the curtain here. It does have some stuff that I could use as sort of broad rules to apply for different checks, but Should the PCs agree to this risky endeavor of getting involved in other people's relationships, they can attempt a wide variety of approaches.
Yeah.
The GM can allow the PCs to employ essentially any creative ideas they might imagine, and then I have several different broad categories of what the different attempts might be, like atmosphere or several other things to do, broad under the different directions your plans might take.
So, what direction does it take for Felix to propose that his good buddy Karen, like, chat with one of them while Felix hits on the other one?
I swear to God, that is most explicitly written here.
Okay.
Is it? That's hilarious. Karen's into it. She'd do it.
Gnome's gonna broach the conversation of ritualistic sacrifice and then turn into an analogy for love with Jazzy.
I love that.
You must ritualistically sacrifice your seed.
Who doesn't get turned on by a nice ritualistic sacrifice conversation?
I mean,
Always.
he wants to learn the gold. It's not my fault.
Certainly not me.
Is that tainted gold in your pocket, or you just have it?
Karen's like, actually it is.
Yeah, it is tainted gold. Tainted gold. I
So
do.
honestly, I'm so enjoying the act of this book. I also really appreciate one thing that I think it does really well. Because it's always interesting to me, and those of you who played in Crimson Throne with me will remember that, like, I tried to do a little bit, but I was so much more, I was so greener at GMing games like this, that one of the things I think I failed to do well in Crimson Throne was sort of like, parts of it emerged over time, but I really wish I could have built a better foundation for why you all cared about the city.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
And I will say, I asked all of you to create a connection on your own, and all of you did that wonderfully. I mean, like, by the end of it, whether or not you had a lot of care, and, like, actually a lot of you were really developing an affection for the Shawanti tribe on the edge you cared a lot about, or, like, on the side, Aiden was spending a non-insignificant portion of his gold income to, like, get orphanages up and running that he cared about.
I remember that.
And all of you weirdly cared about Slippery Pete being okay.
I loved Slippery Pete. He was one of the best NPCs.
Yeah, actually, if I haven't mentioned it, Isaac, I wish I could claim any of this as GM inspiration, but it wasn't. Like, one of the nights before we sat down, Trent was playing an Urban Ranger. Very similar, honestly, to, like, kind of your, like, what would now you could play as a rogue, sort of like a combination Ranger Rogue Brute a little bit. And Trent kind of caught me before we went to the room. He's like, hey, so my character's backstory is that he's kind of got a lot of connections with the underworld and has kind of come out of it but still has a lot of ties there. I think I kind of want to, like, could you help me? I kind of want to have an NPC who, like, I'd have a relationship with I could go to. And I was like, all right, I'm trying to think of stuff. And he's like, so I kind of want to have, like, could that be, like, a fence? And I said, sure. And he said, but I want it to be, like, the worst fucking fence in town. The absolute worst fence. And so that night appeared Slippery Pete, who has always heard about something that just happened in town from someone who just heard about it from someone else who just heard about it, and always has a few facts wrong, but is really insistent that he knows the right information.
He was the worst.
And he's always perpetually, like, and because he's a fence, the other thing that came up is that he was always perpetually at the end of every single, like, meeting, he always says, like, and by the way, if you know anyone, I'm looking forward. And he's like, whatever ridiculous thing that we'd come up with. Like, and if you know anyone, I need, like 300 mason jars.
You know, shit that would never come up in Pathfinder.
Be like, I need all the three-legged cats in the city.
Like, all of them.
It's not big.
They can't have the legs removed. They need to have been born with 3
by the way, I
legs.
don't need it anymore.
Yeah, by the next time, he never needed it anymore.
And I just, like, I did my best, like kind of, like, just a little bit near Jersey.
Yeah, Slippery Pete was great.
He was my fence Joey.
Like a little bit, yeah. But he was Slippery Pete. You hear about this thing? This thing? Yeah, no. Yeah. So I hear like a lot of people are really sick of this city. No, Pete. I think you mean people in the city. It's like,
People in the city is sick.
I don't know.
I think people are sick of the city. He was never useful for.
Going on a date with him.
Yeah,
There was one beautiful roleplay session in which, like, there was clearly a budding romance between Slippery Pete and Aiden.
yeah. If we'd been able to keep going with that campaign, I'm sure that would have kept going.
Pete was just like, look, it's really late. You wanna like come in? have some dinner. Got some steaks cooking. Yeah, okay, sure.
And then he like had a bottle of wine.
Yeah, he's like, you want some wine? Want some wine today? Yeah, I mean, yeah, why not?
And it was like legitimately kind of a beautiful moment.
Yeah. I think you guys ended up playing chess, and like he shared about how he's kind of scared about how the city is, and he hopes things are going to be okay.
Yeah, like it was like a whole thing. It was kind of beautiful.
It's my favorite NPC that's ever existed, and it was just complete bullshit.
I also really
Anyway,
loved
so
Honor Dorcas.
I gotta say, Trent, one of the things I'm super stoked. The next act of this adventure, and I think I mentioned this to someone, it may have been Shane though. The next act of this adventure is straight up a hex crawl in a hot, environmentally difficult jungle.
Oh god.
Looking for magical artifacts.
I'm gonna drink water.
But I love it because like, it's going to be so interesting to see the difference in